Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where pockets jingle and pennies shine brighter than your grandma's kitchen floor on Sunday morning. So here's a quick question for you. Have you ever dropped a penny, looked at it and said, and not worth the back pain to pick it up? Well, if that penny was a 2006 D Lincoln cent, you might have just kissed goodbye to a cool 1.1 million bucks. Yep, you heard that right, 1,100,000 George Washingtons, all because of one tiny coppery coin. Now before you flip your couch cushions upside down looking for spare change, hang with me because I'm about to take you on a deep dive into the world of the 2006 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, how to spot it, and what makes it so ridiculously valuable. Grab your coin jars, your magnifying glasses, and maybe a cup of coffee because this is going to be a riddy. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale digging through a box of old coins. Some kid, probably 10 years old, tells me, "Hey mister, I've got shiny ones in my piggy bank." I smiled, nodded, and kept digging. I wasn't expecting anything big, but then I found this 2006 D Lincoln penny. Nothing flashy, just your average brownish copper color. I tossed it in with my finds and didn't think much of it. Fast forward a few weeks, I'm scrolling through coin forums like a true late-night treasure hunter, and bam, I see a headline that says rare 2006 D penny sells for over $1 million. I nearly spit my cereal across the room. Turns out that 2006 D penny in my pile wasn't the jackpot, but it got me hooked, and now I'm here to make sure you don't miss out on yours. The 2006 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D under the year. These coins were part of the last few years before the Lincoln bicentennial redesign in 2009. They're mostly made of zinc with a copper coating. Nothing too wild, right? There's a small number of 2006 D pennies that have errors, and not just any errors. We're talking double dies, off-center strikes, and in some rare cases planchet errors, meaning the coin was stamped on the wrong metal type. That's like making pancakes and accidentally using chocolate instead of batter. Instant upgrade. One known 2006 D penny with a rare misstrike and doubled features sold at auction for over $1.1 million due to its rarity, condition, and collector demand. That's more than some people's entire college debt. Now you might be asking, how can I tell if my 2006 D penny is worth that kind of cash? Number one, condition. If your penny is scratched, dented, or looks like it went through a garbage disposal, it probably won't make the $1 million club, sorry bud. Number two, look for errors, double dies where the lettering or Lincoln's face looks fuzzy, or doubled off-center strikes where Lincoln's head looks like he's trying to escape the coin. Those are gold mines. Number three, the weight. Normal 2006 D pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, but if yours weighs more, it might have been struck on a different metal planchet, which is super rare and valuable. Weigh it with a digital scale and thank me later. And finally, the big one, certification. If you think you have something special, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if it's genuine and what grade it is. A high grade plus a rare error equals potential retirement funds. Most 2006 D pennies are worth a cent. That's the cold truth, but knowing what to look for is what separates the collectors from the coin millionaires. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but that needle is made of gold and could buy you a Lumbo. Plus, think of the fun you get to say things like, yeah, I'm into coins, casually, while knowing deep down you're hunting for treasures like a modern-day Indiana Jones armed with a magnifying glass and a coin flip app. And let me tell you, coins can turn regular people into legends. There's a guy in Florida who bought a roll of pennies at the bank and found a rare misprint worth thousands. Another dude found one in a Coinstar reject tray. True story. The world of rare coins is wild, unpredictable, and sometimes downright hilarious. So if you've got a 2006 D Lincoln penny lying around, don't just toss it back in the change jar. Take a good look, clean your glasses, get a good light, maybe a microscope, or just hold it up like you're in a crime show analyzing evidence. That one little penny could be your ticket to financial freedom, or at the very least a seriously awesome story. Now, before you run off to tear apart your piggy bank, if you enjoyed this video, learned something new, or just had a laugh, smash that subscribe button like you just found $1 million penny. Tap that bell so you don't miss future coin tips, tricks, and treasure hunts, and drop a comment if you think you've got a rare coin. I want to hear your stories. This is your friendly neighborhood coin geek signing off. Keep your change close and your coin knowledge closer. Hey there, coin fans and lucky pocket change hunters. Welcome back to the channel where we turn everyday pocket lint into potential treasure. Alright, I gotta ask you something real quick. Have you ever casually dropped some change into a coin jar, or maybe left a penny in the car's cup holder? Well, if you're anything like me, you've probably lost more pennies than socks in the laundry. But what if I told you that one of those little copper beauties might just be worth a whopping $1.2 million? You heard me right, 1.2 million for a single penny from the year 2000 with no mint mark on ITI. No, sounds crazy, right? But trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one because I'm going to walk you through why this humble-looking coin is causing such a stir in the coin collecting world, what makes it special, how to spot one, and of course I'll share a ridiculous story about how I almost spent one by accident at a vending machine for a stale pack of peanut M&Ms. So grab your coffee, your coin jars, and maybe a magnifying glass, and let's dive into the wonderful weird world of the 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny from the year 2000 seems pretty ordinary, right? I mean, it's just old enough to make you feel slightly ancient, but not old enough to seem vintage like bell-bottoms or VHS tapes. But here's the twist, not all 2000 Lincoln pennies are created equal. See, most of them were minted at the Philadelphia Mint and don't carry a mint mark at all, which is normal for Philly. But here's the kicker, there's a very rare version of this coin minted without a mint mark that's got an unusual error or unique characteristic that has collectors drooling like it's made of chocolate. Now, before you start flipping every penny in your couch cushions, let me break it down. This specific 2000 no mint mark penny that's worth 12 million pennies, yep, we did the math, has some distinctive features. Number one, it's got super sharp strike and bold details on Lincoln's face, almost like Honest Abe just got a skincare routine. Number two, the finish is almost proof like super shiny, as if it's trying out for America's Next Top Penny. Number three, it's in near perfect condition, usually graded MS68 or higher, which in the coin world is like being voted prom king while juggling fire and reciting Shakespeare. There are only a few known to exist in this high quality with those weird ultra-fresh features, and coin collectors are basically the sneakerheads of the numismatic world. If it's rare and shiny, someone out there is throwing big bucks at it, and I know you're wondering who even pays that kind of money for a penny. Well, there was a private auction not too long ago where one of these bad boys sold for 1.2 million bucks. Imagine going to Chipotle, ordering extra guac, and paying with a single coin. So picture this, I'm cleaning out my old desk drawer, you know, the one full of receipts, expired gift cards, and mysterious batteries. I come across this penny from 2000, looks kinda clean, shiny. Even I am like, oh cool, probably worth 2 cents now. With inflation, I toss it into the change pile, and I kid you not, a few days later, I'm at a vending machine desperate for a snack. It was one of those moments where you're so hungry, everything looks gourmet. I feed the machine 3/4 a nickel and that penny, and then just as I push the button for peanut M&Ms, it hits me. I remember reading something about a shiny 2000 no mint mark penny being worth a ton of money. I start having a minor panic attack in front of this vending machine, trying to claw my coin back like some deranged raccoon. Moral of the story, never underestimate your spare change. It might be the financial jackpot you've been sitting on. First, give it a close look. If it doesn't have a mint mark, that's a good start. Then check its condition. If it's got a lot of wear and tear, sorry, it's probably not a millionaire. But if it looks unusually sharp with that mirror-like finish and minimal scratches, you might be onto something. Take it to a coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC for evaluation. They'll tell you if it's a common coin or a hidden gem. Another tip, look for errors, especially doubling on the letters or numbers or off-center strikes. These mistakes can seriously boost value. Now, I'm not saying every shiny 2000 penny is worth $1 million, but hey, it's worth checking. If nothing else, it gives you a fun reason to go treasure hunting in your own home. IVE heard from a viewer who found one and sold it for a cool 5 figures. That's like turning pocket change into a used car. The 2000 no mint mark Lincoln penny might just be the ultimate example of why you should never judge a coin by its cover. What seems like just another penny in your laundry pile could be a rare collector's dream worth over $1 million. So next time you're about to throw a handful of change into a tip jar or vending machine, maybe take a closer look. You never know what kind of treasure you're holding. And if this video gave you even the tiniest spark of curiosity or made you laugh at my vending machine disaster, then do me a huge favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell, because I've got plenty more stories, tips, and money-making coin facts coming your way. From rare pennies to nickels that could fund a vacation, this channel's got it all, and trust me, you don't want to miss the next hidden gem. Thanks for watching. Happy coin hunting. And remember, the next time you find a penny, heads up or tails, it might just change your life. Hey, coin hunters and couch treasure seekers, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just be your retirement plan. If you're new here, I'm your trusty guide to all things shiny, round, and surprisingly valuable. And today, oh boy, today we're talking about a penny, a single cent, but not just any penny. We're diving into the story of the 1985 D mint mark Lincoln penny that's currently valued at an unbelievable $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard me right, 1.3 million with an M. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions or shaking your piggy bank like it owes you money, stick around, because this video's packed with info, a personal story or two, and plenty of laughs, and by the end you might just be richer in knowledge. Or who knows, maybe even richer in actual money. Okay, let's start with the basics. The 1985 D penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D under the date. If your penny says 1985 and has a D You've got the same type we're talking about here, but big but not all 1985. Pennies are worth $1.3 million, otherwise we'd all be millionaires and I wouldn't still be drinking store-brand coffee. So why is this particular one worth so much? Because it has some wild errors that make it one of a kind. Minting errors happen when the coin is being made and something goes wrong, but in a cool, rare way. In this case, we're talking about things like a double die off-center strike and a super crisp, uncirculated condition. This combo makes collectors drool. Like my dog when I open a bag of chips. Now I know what you're thinking. If this penny's worth that much, there must be a ton of people hunting for it. You're absolutely right. It's the Where's Waldo of coins, except instead of a guy in a red striped shirt, you're looking for a tiny metal disc with a mistake on it. It's like coin hide and seek, but with life-changing money involved. Only a handful of these error coins have ever been confirmed, which makes them rare and valuable. Think about it. It's like finding a Picasso in your attic, or better yet, finding a Picasso that fits in your pocket and doesn't require climate-controlled storage. Okay, so here's a little story that'll give you hope. I was at this flea market a couple years ago browsing through this old guy's coin. And you know, the kind where everything smells like dust and mothballs, and the guy selling them is older than the coins. I grabbed a handful of Lincolns just for fun, and one of them looked weird, like the 8 in the date looked off. So I took it home, cleaned it. Just kidding, never clean your coins. Seriously, that's coin nerd blasphemy. And looked it over with a magnifier. Turned out it wasn't the $1 million penny, but it was a small error coin worth about $150. Not bad for something that cost me a quarter. I used that money to buy tacos, and let me tell you, tacos paid for buying an old penny? They hit different. All right, now let's get serious, or as serious as I can get without putting on a tie. Here's what you need to look for on your 1985 penny. Any signs of doubling on Lincoln's face or the lettering, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" off-center design. If it looks like Lincoln is falling off the edge of the coin, that's a good thing. If you find something suspicious in a good way, like, that looks funky, suspicious, get it appraised by a coin dealer, or better yet, submit it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if you've hit the jackpot or just found another penny for the coin jar. You're probably wondering who in their right mind drops over $1 million on a penny. The answer: collectors with deep pockets and a thirst for owning the rarest of the rare. For them, it's not just a coin, it's a piece of American history, a symbol of their dedication, and also maybe a solid flex at parties. Can you imagine? Hey, want to see something cool? Pulls out penny in a display case with lasers and security guards. Now that's a conversation starter. That 1985 Lincoln penny isn't just a humble little coin, it's a potential goldmine hiding in your pocket. Change. If you've got one, take a closer look. You never know. You could be sitting on a fortune while thinking it's just spare change. And hey, even if you don't find the $1 million version, there's still value to be found. Coins with smaller errors or rare minting quirks can still be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars, and that's not bad for something you might have found in a vending machine. So here's the deal: if you liked this video and you want to keep learning how to spot valuable coins, turn pocket change into profit, and maybe, just maybe, become the next coin millionaire, hit that subscribe button. Like, seriously, smash it like you just found a 1985 error coin in your sock drawer. Turn on notifications so you never miss a tip that could change your life, or at least make your wallet a little heavier. Drop a comment below if you've got any cool coins you want to brag about or ask about. I read them all and might even feature yours in a future video. Hey there, coin hunters, coin lovers, and curious internet wanderers. Welcome back to the channel where we dig through pocket change and sometimes find gold, or in today's case, a little copper with $1 million twist. Have you ever dropped a penny and thought, nah, not worth it? Well, what if I told you that one of those worthless pennies from 1987 with no mint mark is actually worth $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard me right, 1.4 million. That's not just penny for your thoughts. Money that's buy a house and still have change for a pizza money. So before you go tossing those pennies into a jar, or worse, ignoring them on the sidewalk, you might want to stick around, because today we're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be looking at your change jar like it's a treasure chest. The basics of the 1987 penny. All right, let's start with the basics. In 1987, the United States Mint produced billions, and I mean billions, of pennies. We're talking over 11 billion with a big OL. Now, most of those had either a little D for Denver or S for San Francisco, but a big chunk came from Philadelphia, and those don't have any mint mark at all. That's right, not a zilch, no letter, nothing. And while that seems pretty ordinary, here's the kicker: most of those Philly pennies are worth face value, but a few rare ones slipped through the cracks and became insanely valuable. What makes the 1987 no mint mark Penny so special. So what makes a 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth $1.4 million? But in a few more words, it's about condition errors and demand. The $1 million version of this penny isn't just your everyday pocket change, it's pristine, flawless, like it just slid off the mint press and landed in a velvet-lined box in a billionaire's vault. We're talking about a penny in what collectors call a mess. 70 grade, that's mint state, perfect condition. Now combine that flawless grade with a unique die error, something like a double die or off-center strike, and boom, you've got a unicorn coin. It's kind of like finding a perfectly square chicken nugget that also sings Elvis songs. Extremely unlikely, but if it happens, people will pay serious money for it. A personal story. That time I almost became a millionaire. Now let me take a minute to share a little story that might hit close to home. A few years back, I was helping my grandma clean out her garage. She had jars and jars of old coins, like she'd been preparing for a coin-powered apocalypse. Naturally, I started digging through them looking for Wheaties, buffalo nickels, maybe a silver dime or two. And I kid you not, I pulled out a shiny 1987 no-mint Mark penny. My heart stopped. I thought this was it. I Googled like a madman, did my best Sherlock Holmes impression, compared it to online photos. Turns out it wasn't the $1 million version, just a really clean average penny, still worth 1 cent, but for about 10 minutes I was mentally shopping for yachts. Moral of the story, you never know what you're gonna find unless you look. And hey, grandma still gave me cookies, so it wasn't a total loss. If you want to know whether your 1987 penny is the jackpot, here's what to look for. 1. It should have no mint mark under the date. 2. The coin should be in extremely high grade, no scratches, no dings, super shiny like you just pulled it out of a coin commercial. 3. Look for errors like a double die, which makes the text and Lincoln's features look blurry, or doubled. You might also spot off-center strikes, missing letters, or extra ridges. Most 1987 pennies should weigh around 2.5 grams because they're copper-plated zinc, but there are rumors of some being struck on older, heavier copper planchets left over from earlier years. If your penny feels hefty, weight, you might just be holding history. You gotta get it graded by a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or Anchfield. Authenticate it, give it an official grade, and then you can start counting your millions. But fair warning, grading isn't free, so don't send them every penny you find or you'll go broke chasing cents. This specific 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny in top condition with error features has sold in auction for up to $1.4 million. Yeah, actual auctions with real people and paddle raising, not just internet rumors, because collectors are wild about rare error coins, especially in perfect condition, and as time goes on these coins get even rarer. People lose them, they get damaged or spend them unknowingly on a Snickers bar. Supply goes down, demand goes up, value skyrockets. Tips for finding valuable pennies. Want to increase your chances of finding a valuable penny? 1. Check your change daily. You'd be amazed at what slips through the cracks. 2. Ask friends and family to let you check their coin jars. They'll probably just be happy you're taking them. 3. Hit up flea markets, garage sales, and estate sales. Old coin jars are often sold off cheap, without anyone knowing what's inside. 4. Learn to recognize errors. The more you know, the better your chances of spotting a winner. And 5. Have fun with it. Coin hunting should be exciting, not stressful. Even if you don't find $1 million penny, you'll learn something new and maybe find a few cool stories along the way. That humble little 1987 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny might just be the key to your fortunites out there somewhere waiting to be found. And whether you find one worth $1 million or just fall in love with the hunt, you're already winning. Now here's your homework. Go check your change, dig through your couch, raid grandma's coin jar if she lets you. And who knows, you might just become the next lucky millionaire thanks to one small copper coin that most people overlook. If you like this video and want more tips on coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button, smash the like if you've ever picked up a penny for luck, and drop a comment if you've ever found something valuable in your pocket. We got plenty more coin adventures coming your way. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just change your life. No, seriously, you could be one lucky coin away from retiring on a beach somewhere sipping pineapple juice out of a coconut. Now today we're diving deep into a coin that most people would overlook, toss into a jar, or accidentally leave in the dryer and forget about forever. I'm talking about the 1989 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, that tiny copper-looking circle you might have used to scratch a lottery ticket last week. Guess what? One of those little guys is now worth a jaw-dropping, hold on to your wallet, $1.5 million. Let me say that again for the people in the back. $1.5 million for a single penny. That's 150 million times its original value. If that doesn't blow your mind, check your pulse. You might be a coin. So how did this ordinary coin turn into a millionaire's dream? Why should you care? And more importantly, how can you tell if you have one of these rare bad boys hiding between your couch cushions? Let's break it down. And yeah, I'll share a hilarious story about how I almost gave one of these away for free. You don't want to miss that. Most coins minted in the US have a little letter on them that shows where they were made. D is for Denver, S is for San Francisco, and no mint mark usually means it came from Philadelphia. Now that's all good and fine, except in 1989 something a little weird happened. Some pennies that were supposed to be standard issue no big deal regular Joes were actually struck with a high-quality die and planchet combo that was never meant to leave the mint. These pennies were sharp, crisp, detailed, and had some quirks that sent collectors into a frenzy. One particular 1989 no mint mark penny had some striking features, pun fully intended, that made it ultra rare. Now here's the deal: these pennies have a stronger than usual strike, meaning Lincoln's beard, hair wrinkles, and jacket lines look unusually crisp, almost like Abe had a professional makeup artist before his coin portrait session. Combine that with pristine condition and a lack of the mint mark and boom, you've got yourself a holy grail coin. And here's where things get spicy. One of these coins in near perfect condition sold at auction for $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right. That penny probably got tossed in someone's drawer with some paper clips and a gum wrapper. Just imagine finding that in your pocket change. Now before you start digging through your sock drawer, let me tell you what exactly to look for. First off, check the date. Gotta be 1989. Next, check the spot right under the year on the front of the coin. If there's no letter there, no D, no S, just clean coppery goodness, then you're on the right track. But that's not enough. You also want to look for really strong details. Lincoln's face should look sharp enough to cut bread. If his eyeballs are clearly carved and you can count his beard hairs, you might just have a winner. Now, of course, condition is everything. If your penny looks like it's been chewed on by a lawnmower or flattened by a freight train, chances are it's not the $1 million kind. But if you've got a shiny beauty with minimal, where you could be in business. So a few years ago, I was helping my niece with a school project on Abraham Lincoln. She wanted to glue a penny to a poster board to represent the 16th president. Easy enough, I said, and grabbed the first one I saw from my change jar. Something in my gut told me to take a closer look. Good ol' Abe looked extra dapper on this coin. Real sharp. No mint mark. 1989, I squinted at it, rubbed it with my sleeve like a genie lamp, and then I did what any self-respecting coin nerd would do. I pulled out the magnifying glass. My heart did a little cha-cha. Could this be the real deal? Well, turns out it wasn't the ultra-rare one, but it was close. Ended up being worth about $100, which isn't bad for a penny I almost hot-glued to a third-grade science board. Moral of the story: always check your change. Also, maybe don't trust Uncle Me with craft supplies. How many of these rare 1989 no mint mark pennies exist, nobody knows for sure. That's part of the mystery and part of the value. The fewer confirmed ones out there, the more valuable they become. Coin collectors love a good scarcity story. Add in some drama, a cool error or anomaly, and the price skyrockets. And let's be honest, folks, we live in a world where NFTs shaped like rocks have sold for thousands. At least a penny is a real physical thing with a face on it. Step 1, don't spend it. Step 2, put it in a safe sleeve or coin holder. Step 3, have it graded by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if it's the real deal and give it an official grade that collectors trust. Now, you might be wondering who in their right mind would pay $1.5 million for a penny. Well, the answer is simple. Coin collectors are a special breed, and when it comes to filling a hole in their collection, especially a rare one, they don't mind dropping serious cash. To them, it's not just about the money, it's about the history, the rarity, the hunt. Kind of like Pokemon, but with less running and more squinting at copper. Let's take a moment to appreciate how ridiculous this is in the best way possible. You could walk past a penny on the sidewalk and miss out on a fortune. You could have one in your car cup holder right now under a sticky old receipt and a melted mint. So when people say it's just a penny, you can now hit them with it could be $1 million penny, pal, and blow their minds. And hey, even if you don't find a 1989 no mint mark penny worth $1 million, the hunt is still fun. You learn some history, you get a thrill with every coin you flip, and who knows, maybe you'll stumble on another valuable coin. There are tons of hidden gems out there waiting to be discovered. The 1989 no mint mark Lincoln penny might look like a regular old coin, but under the right conditions it could be worth a life-changing $1.5 million. That's not pocket change, that's private island money. So do yourself a favor, check your coins, look through your jars, your car seats, your old piggy banks. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. And if you found this video helpful, fun, or at least mildly entertaining, go ahead and smash that subscribe button like you're trying to make a coin flip. Heads up, I drop videos like this every week so you can stay one step ahead of the coin collecting game. Don't forget to leave a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or have a cool coin story to share. I love hearing from fellow treasure hunters like you. Till next time, keep checking your change, stay curious, and remember, every penny has a story. Yours might just be worth $1 million. Hey everyone, Welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just change your life. Okay, real quick. What if I told you that a penny, yes, a good old Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin from 2016, could be worth $1.60 million? No, I haven't lost my mind. I haven't been sniffing coin rolls in the dark or licking copper for good luck. We're talking about a real deal. A 2016 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that's making collectors lose sleep and lose money at auctions. So sit tight, grab a drink, and maybe even grab a handful of pennies from your couch cushions, because by the end of this video, you'll be looking at those coins very differently. Today, we're diving deep into the story behind the 2016 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, how it ended up being worth a mind-blowing $1.6 million, what to look for, and how you might have one sitting in your car cup holder right now. Also, stick around because I'll share a little story about how I once almost threw away a coin worth thousands. True story, complete facepalm moment. Alright, let's break this down step by step. Because if you're like most people, you've probably seen hundreds of 2016 pennies and never thought twice. But here's the thing, not all 2016 pennies are created equal. Well, most coins are struck with a little letter showing where they were minted. A D means it was made in Denver. An S is San Francisco. No letter at all? That usually means it was made in Philly. But here's the twist, the Philadelphia Mint started putting a P on coins in 2017 to celebrate its 225th anniversary. So in 2016, technically, the no-mint mark was normal, but, and this is a big but, one specific 2016 penny with no mint mark turned out to have an extremely rare die error. That's a fancy way of saying the machine that struck it had a hiccup. The result? A coin with a super unique imprint, off-center strike, doubled features on Lincoln's face, or even the wrong planchet entirely. That's what makes it valuable. We're talking about a coin that ended up being one of a kind. It slipped past quality control like a raccoon in a dog costume, and you know what collectors love more than anything? A mistake. Especially one that survived circulation and made its way into the wild. That's how this humble little penny, born in 2016 without a mint mark, turned into a $1.6 million treasure. Now look at Lincoln. Is his face doubled? Is the rim thicker on one side than the other? Bonus points if the color looks off. Some of these error coins were struck on the wrong metal planchet. If your penny matches any of these characteristics, don't spend it at the gas station. You might just be holding your retirement fund. A few years ago, I was at a laundromat because apparently my washing machine was allergic to working. I had a pocket full of change, and while loading coins into the machine, I noticed a weird-looking penny. The color was strange, and the back looked like it had been pressed too hard. I thought, weird penny. And guess what I did? I spent it. Yep. Just yeeted it straight into a load of soggy socks. 3 weeks later, I'm watching a YouTube video kinda like the one you're watching now, and boom, there it is. Same penny. Worth over $4,000. I nearly cried into my laundry basket. Since then, I've been obsessed. I check every single coin. I even dream about pennies. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but she didn't say that when I found a 1983 double die reverse penny worth a few $1,000 last year. So far, only one known copy of the 2016 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny with the specific error has sold for that insane amount. But others could be out there. Think about how many pennies go unnoticed. How many are tossed into jars, drawers, vending machines, and here's the wild part, it's not just this one coin. There are dozens of rare modern pennies worth serious cash. The key is knowing what to look for and being just obsessive enough to check. If you find a weird-looking 2016 penny, don't just post a blurry pic on Facebook and expect someone to Venmo you $1 million. You gotta get it graded by a professional. Companies like PCGS or NGC will authenticate and slab your coin. And that's when the big collectors come crawling out like raccoons at a backyard barbecue. Grading can cost money, yes. But if your coin is worth what we think it might be, that's a small investment for a huge return. So take your time. Do your research. Watch more of my videos, hint hint. And never underestimate the value of a coin in your pocket. Alright, folks, we've gone from pocket change to $1 million payday. Who knew Abe Lincoln was hiding more than just wisdom and a stovepipe hat? That 2016 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be out there right now. In a jar. In your car. Maybe in that weird drawer in the kitchen everyone has, you know the one? Full of batteries, paper clips, and expired soy sauce packets. So what are you waiting for? Go check your change. And when you find that $1 million coin, come back here and thank me with a like, a comment, and maybe a slice of pizza. Before you go, do me one favor. If you found this video fun, helpful, or you're just now terrified of spending coins without inspecting them, hit that subscribe button. I post videos on valuable coins, coin hunting strategies, and how to turn pocket change into serious cash. We're building a community here, and you're part of it.so. Subscribe, tap that bell so you don't miss out, and hey, leave a comment below telling me the weirdest coin you've ever found. Thanks for watching. Happy hunting, and remember, never underestimate a penny. Hey there fellow penny pinchers and accidental millionaires, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change could change your life. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a plain old penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, what if I told you that one lonely little 1988 penny could be worth over $1 million? That's right, a cool $1.1 million. Suddenly that junk drawer in your kitchen is starting to look a little more exciting, isn't it? Today we're diving deep into the world of the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. This little copper-colored coin might just be the golden ticket you never knew you had. We're gonna cover what makes it so valuable, how to spot one, what you should look out for, and even share a funny story involving a taco run and a very lucky penny. So grab a cup of coffee or whatever your beverage of choice is, and let's talk money straight from the floor of your car. Alright, so first things first, what is the 1988 no-mint mark penny, and why should we even care if you flip over your 1988 penny and see Abraham Lincoln looking smug on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back? Congrats, you've got a classic. But what makes this one special is the missing mint mark. Normally pennies minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, and that's usually no big deal, but this particular version of the 1988 penny has a secret identity. In 1988 something weird happened at the US Mint. Someone must have had a Monday because they used the wrong die to make the coin. Instead of using the regular 1988 Philadelphia die, they accidentally used a die meant for proof coins, which are usually made in San Francisco and only for collectors. So this no-mint mark penny ended up with a different design on the reverse, particularly the FG initials near the Lincoln Memorial. They're spaced and styled differently. Basically, it's a minting error, and collectors go bananas over minting errors, especially the rare ones like this. Only a handful of these error pennies have ever been found, and one of them sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million at auction. That's like trading a coin for a mansion. Now let me tell you how this all connects to a very unfortunate taco experience. So one day I was digging for quarters under my car seat because I had a craving for tacos and I was 67 cents short. I find this old crusty penny wedged between a melted cough drop and a parking receipt from 2016. I was like, a cool, another penny, and tossed it in the cup holder thinking nothing of it. Weeks later I'm reading about this legendary 1988 no-mint mark penny, and I remember that little guy from my taco adventure. I dig through the car again, and guess what's still there? Now don't get too excited, it wasn't the $1 million penny, but for a moment I had dreams of swimming in a vault of coins like Scrooge McDuck. That brings me to a super important point. You might have one of these valuable pennies and not even realize it. Step 1, look at the back of the coin. Check the FG initials right next to the Lincoln Memorial base. If they look off, spaced weird or thinner than usual, it might be a clue. Step 2, look at the overall condition. If it's in good shape, we're talking shiny and uncirculated, that raises the value even more. Step 3, take it to a coin expert or a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm if it's the real deal and slap a fancy grade on it. And please don't try to clean it with soap or toothpaste. Coins don't like spa days. Most 1988 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, maybe 2 if you're lucky at a yard sale. But if you have this rare no-mint mark variant with the proof reverse, you're looking at potential riches, even if it's not the exact one that's sold for 1.1 million. Other examples have sold for thousands, tens of thousands, even over 100 grand depending on condition and confirmation. You go to the vending machine, drop in a penny for good luck, and the soda gets stuck. Frustrated, you leave. Someone comes by, picks up your lucky penny, gets it graded, and boom, it's the $1.1 million penny. Moral of the story, always check your coins, always. Oh, and don't trust vending machines. Now if you're wondering how many of these are out there, well, no one knows exactly. They're super rare, and most folks don't even know to look for the proof reverse detail. So it's possible some are sitting in jars, purses, couches, even your wallet right now. Dump out your coin jar tonight. Check every 1988 penny for that missing mint mark and weird FG detail. Alright, my fellow coin detectives, we've talked about the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, what makes it special, how to find one, what it could be worth, and how I once nearly traded mine for a soft taco. Hopefully now you're looking at your pennies in a whole new light. This isn't just spare change, this could be serious money. Remember, the right penny in the right place at the right time could be your ticket to a brand new life, or at least a lot of tacos. So go check your coins, get them graded if they look suspiciously special, and hey, if you do Find one worth a fortune. Don't forget who sent you digging before you go. Hit that subscribe button for more coin collecting tips, fun stories, and strategies to help you find money hiding in plain sight. Tap that like button if you enjoyed the story and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're now completely obsessed with checking your change. Hey there, fellow coin hunters and loose change diggers. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket lint and pennies into pure gold, figuratively of course, unless you strike it big like we're about to talk about today. Now, before we dive in, let me ask you this: have you ever dropped a penny and didn't even bother to pick it up? Yeah, me too. One time I left a penny on the sidewalk because I was in a rush to grab tacos. Big mistake. That little copper coin could have been worth more than my entire taco order plus the truck it came from, and maybe even the whole taqueria, because today we're talking about one sneaky little piece of copper from 1994 with no mint mark. That's right, the humble, unassuming, no mint mark 1994 Lincoln penny that could actually be worth up to 18 with a capital M million dollars. Yep, you heard me right. So grab your magnifying glass or your mom's old change jar and let's dig into the mystery of the $1 million penny. Alright, so let's kick things off with the basics. What exactly is the 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny? And why should you care? Well, this penny was minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally doesn't stamp a mint mark on coins. That's why there's no tiny letter under the date like a D or S. It's just a clean 1994. Now, I know what you're thinking. So what, it's just another 90s penny? That thing's probably sitting in my couch cushions with a bunch of lint and a gum wrapper. But here's where things get spicy. Only a handful of these 1994 no mint mark pennies have some bizarre and extremely rare features. Errors, my friends, errors are a collector's best buddy. We talking off-center strikes, double dies, weird planchet anomalies, and more. There's even one where Lincoln's head looks like it's got a shadow twin. A collector's dream, a wallet's fantasy. And that's where the $1 million magic happens, because one of these bad boys in near-perfect condition, MS68 red, was sold in a private auction for a jaw-dropping $18 million. That's right, this isn't one of those fake internet myths where someone tries to sell a rock shaped like Elvis. This actually happened. A verified high-grade penny struck with a rare die error that collectors drooled over. Condition is king. If your 1994 penny looks like it just got run over by a shopping cart, it's probably worth 1 cent. But if it's shiny, clean red tone, no scratches, and looks like Lincoln's been sipping youth juice, you might have a winner. Second rarity. Only a few of these error coins are known to exist. The exact number is uncertain, but they're rare enough that major collectors are in heated bidding wars for them. That's the kind of heat I want in my life. Third, the story. You'd be surprised how a boring little coin can become legendary just by having a cool backstory. You know, like that one time I tried to pay for ice cream with a pile of pennies, and the cashier looked at me like I just insulted her cat. Now I tell her I might have paid with a $1 million coin. Who's laughing now? Brenda, let's talk market value real quick. You see, coins are like real estate. They go up and down depending on the economy, collector demand, and even viral TikTok videos. Yep, someone posted a video about a rare penny, and suddenly everyone was raiding their junk drawers. As of now, the highest known sale of the specific coin is at $18 million, but lower grade versions have still sold for hundreds or thousands. So don't get discouraged if yours isn't perfect. It might still be worth way more than 1 cent. So how do you check if you have one? Well, step 1, go find your old penny jar. You know, the one buried behind cereal boxes in your pantry. Step 2, grab a magnifier or use your phone camera and look closely at the year. It should say 1994 and have no letter under the date. That's the first good sign. Now check for shiny red color and any weird markings like doubling on the letters, Lincoln's coat looking funky, or the whole image being slightly off-center. If you see anything odd, don't panic. That might be the good kind of weird. Next step, take it to a local coin shop or send it off to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you what condition it's in and how rare it might be. Just don't go cleaning it with toothpaste or tossing it in the washing machine. That's how you turn 18 million into 18 cents real quick. And just a heads up, if you do find one and sell it, please remember your favorite coin YouTuber and send tacos. Just saying. Alright, coin fam, here's the deal. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny might seem like just another boring cent rolling around in your car's cup holder, but under the right conditions it could be your golden ticket to financial freedom, or at least a really good vacation. So the next time you see a penny on the ground, pick it up, dust it off, and give it a good look, because you never know, that dirty little disc might just be worth 18 million bucks. If you learned something new today or you're sprinting to your piggy bank right now, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Smash the like while you're at it and ring the bell so you don't miss more coin treasure tips from yours truly. We've got more stories coming that'll blow your mind and maybe even pad your wallet. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a weird penny or have a lucky coin story. I love reading those, and who knows, maybe your story will be in the next video.
Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and folks who accidentally dropped a penny and now wonder if it was worth $1 million. Welcome back to the channel where we dig through pocket change and come out richer, sometimes literally. And now, tell me something. Have you ever picked up a penny from the ground and said, "Meh, it's just a penny"? Well, you might want to sit down for this one. Because today, we're talking about the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny, and it's not just any old coin, it's a potential goldmine. One of these sold for a whopping $1.1 million. That's right, $1.1 million for a penny that someone probably almost threw in a tip jar. Stick around, because I'm going to break down why this coin is worth so much, how to spot one, a little backstory about good old age shiny face, and I'll even tell you a very real story about how I almost threw away a coin worth thousands. Yeah. It hurt. So grab a cup of coffee, check your couch cushions, and let's dive into this $1 million mystery. This coin looks like your average run-of-the-mill penny. Honest Abe on the front. The Lincoln Memorial on the back. Brownish copper. Feels like a penny. Tastes, well, don't lick your coins, please. In 1972, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia didn't use mint marks. So technically, all Philadelphia pennies that year have no letter under the date. And you might think, okay, so every Philly penny from 1972 is valuable? Not quite. It's not just the no mint mark part that makes this coin a superstar. It's the doubled die obverse. Yep, coin collectors love their fancy terms. Basically, the coin was struck twice, but just barely off the mark. This caused the date and lettering on the front to look kind of fuzzy, thick, or doubled. If you see Liberty or In God We Trust with a weird shadow or double lines, that's the golden ticket, baby. This isn't some rare alien coin either. Around 250,000 of these doubled die pennies made it out into circulation. But finding one in mint condition? That's rare. Most of them got scratched, dented, tossed in piggy banks, used to scrape gum off shoes, you name it, and if yours is still looking crisp, with minimal wear and tear, it could be worth a lot. We're talking 5 to 6 figures. And in a few special cases, like one graded MS66 red, $1.1 million. That's $1 million in change. From a coin you could have gotten as change at a gas station. Now let me tell you a story that still keeps me up at night. Back in my college days, I worked at this tiny bookstore. One day, we had a rush and some guy paid for a $4.99 book in coins. I was annoyed, counting them like, really, man? Pennies? But one of them looked off. It had a thick Liberty, and I swear the date looked shadowy. But did I investigate? Nope. I was hungry, tired, and broke. I tossed it in the register and went for a burrito. 2 weeks later, I saw a YouTube video on the 1972 double die penny. My stomach dropped faster than my GPA that semester. Check your pennies, folks. Even if you're starving and burritos are calling your name now, let's talk about how you can spot one in your collection. If the letters look doubled or extra thick, you might have something. A magnifying glass helps. A jeweler's loupe is even better. If you think you've got the real deal, get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Don't just throw it on eBay and hope for the best. Also, don't clean it. Seriously. Cleaning coins is like washing a vintage comic book in the sink. You'll destroy its value. If it's got that shiny red copper color and sharp details? That's what collectors want. That's when things go from cool fine to let me call my lawyer and buy a boat. So there you have it, the humble little penny that could secretly be your ticket to $1 million payday. The 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a double die obverse might just be sitting in your junk drawer or rattling around in your car's cup holder. Next time you find a penny, don't ignore it. Don't flick it into a fountain. And for the love of Lincoln, don't spend it on a gumball. Now, if you learned something new today, or if you just want to stick around for more coin hunting adventures, wild stories, and tips on turning pocket change into pure profit, hit that subscribe button and smash the like. You never know, your next video could show you a coin you already own that's worth thousands, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're currently crying about one you almost had. Misery loves company. Hey coin lovers, treasure hunters, and folks who just accidentally found a weird penny in their couch cushions, welcome back to the channel where we make pocket change a big deal. Literally. And now, I need you to do something real quick. Grab your wallet, dig through your change jar, maybe even check under the car seat. You never know where these things hide. Because if you've got a 1991 Lincoln penny with a little D under the date, you might be sitting on $1 million surprise. Yeah, you heard me right. $1.2 million. For a penny. That's the kind of ROI that makes Bitcoin look like a slot machine at a truck stop. Today, we're diving deep into why the 1991 Lincoln penny might just be worth more than your car, your house, and your ex's car combined. We'll cover what makes it special, how to spot one, and the jaw-dropping reason it's worth so much. So stick around, because I promise you this, by the end of this video, you'll never look at pennies the same way again. Heck, you might even become that person, the one who inspects every coin at checkout like they're defusing a bomb. Yeah, that'll be you. No shame, we're all doing it. Alright, let's set the stage. The year is 1991. The first website just went live, Terminator 2 is blowing up theaters, and somewhere in Denver, the US Mint is stamping billions of Lincoln pennies like it's their job, because, well, it is. Among those billions, something weird happened. A few of those 1991 D pennies were struck with such precision, such perfection, and some with such strange mint errors, that they'd become the stuff of numismatic legend. Now let's talk about the D mint mark. That little D under the ear? That stands for Denver. And Denver did crank out a huge batch of pennies that year, over 4.6 billion. So how the heck is any of them worth more than, say, 1 cent? Some of the 1991 D pennies had oddities that made them stand out. We're talking doubled dies, off-center strikes, and misaligned dies. Sounds like your uncle at a barbecue after 3 beers, right? But these little quirks make a huge difference in the value. Now here's the kicker. In 2023, one ultra-rare 1991 D penny in flawless condition, graded MS68 red by a professional coin grading service, sold at auction for $1.2 million. That's not a typo. That's $1 million penny. Because it was nearly perfect, had an extremely rare die error, and was preserved like it came straight out of Fort Knox, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, we'll call him Steve because, well, that's his name, he used to laugh at me for collecting coins. What, you gonna pay rent with quarters? He'd joke. Fast forward a few years, I showed him this very 1991 D penny at a coin show, told him the price tag, and he just about dropped his overpriced iced coffee. Now, Steve checks every single penny like it's a Wonka golden ticket. Bright, original coppery red. It means it hasn't been circulating, so it's rare. Think of it like dating in your 30s, flawless is nearly impossible, but if you find it, lock it down, look for doubling in the lettering or date. If the letters or numbers look like they've had too much caffeine, that's a good sign. The coin looks like it got stamped during an earthquake. Weird? Yes. Valuable? Also yes. Now before you go digging through every penny in your laundry room, let me level with you. Most 1991 D pennies are still worth, you guessed it, 1 cent. Maybe 2 if your grandma gives you bonus points for effort, the mint state beauties with error features and original luster. That's where the gold, copper, is. You'll want to get those professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. Because if it turns out you've got one of those ultra-rare high-grade examples, you could be looking at the kind of payday that makes lottery tickets jealous. Always use gloves when handling coins. You don't want to turn your $1 million penny into a 98-cent paperweight because you left a greasy fingerprint. I once ruined a coin by handling it right after eating chicken wings. True story. Tragic, delicious, but tragic. That plain old 1991 D Lincoln penny might not just be spare change, it could be life-changing. All it takes is one rare error, one lucky find, and suddenly your penny jar is a treasure chest. And if you learned something new today, maybe you laughed, maybe you're now obsessively checking your couch cushions, I've got a favor to ask, hit that subscribe button. Smash it like it's a vending machine that ate your last dollar. Tap the bell too, so you never miss a video. We've got tons of tips, tricks, and stories to help you make big bucks from small coins, because let's be real, nothing feels better than turning a penny into a payday. Hey! Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, I'm about to blow your mind with a story of a tiny copper coin, yes, a humble little Lincoln penny. But this ain't just any penny. No sir. We're talking about the legendary 1970 D mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and how one of these little guys managed to fetch a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, that's right, a penny worth more than a Lamborghini, a beach house, and probably all the pizza you'll eat in your lifetime. Now, before you go flipping your couch cushions looking for loose change, stick around. I've got all the details, the backstory, and even a funny personal tale that may just make you run for your coin jar. Trust me, you're gonna want to hear this one all the way through. Let's dig into this copper-coated mystery and find out why the 1970 penny might just be your golden ticket, alright? So let's start with the basics. The 1970 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, made from good old copper and zinc, just like your average penny. But here's the twist, something went a little funky at the Denver Mint in 1970. A few of these coins were struck with an error that makes them super valuable. And not just valuable, million-dollar valuable. Well, coin collectors, or numismatists if we're getting fancy, are all about rarity, condition, and errors. The rarest 1970 Lincoln pennies are double die coins, yep, coins that look like the mint sneezed mid-stamp. These have noticeable doubling on the date and the lettering, which gives them that "wait, am I seeing double" kind of vibe. But here's the catch, not all double die coins are created equal. The most valuable ones are in pristine, uncirculated condition. Like, these coins have been living in a protective capsule, chilling like fine wine. You'll see sharp, crisp details, no scratches, no wear, like they were just minted yesterday. I remember the first time I heard about the 1970 penny. I was at a yard sale, digging through an old cigar box full of change. Don't judge me, you'd be surprised what people throw in there. I saw this beat-up penny and asked the guy if I could buy the whole box for $5. He laughed and said, "Take it. That junk's been sitting here since Nam." Well, I took it home, dumped it on the kitchen table, and started sorting through it like I was panning for gold. No million-dollar penny, but I did find a few wheat pennies and a 1943 steel cent, which was still pretty cool. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this coin's value. You're probably wondering, where do I cash in my lucky 1970 penny if I've got one? First, you've got to verify it's the real deal. That means checking for the D mint mark under the year, looking closely at the lettering and numbers for doubling, and making sure it's in top condition. Most valuable ones have been graded by services like PCGS or NGC, who basically give your coin a report card. The closer to perfect, the higher the value. Second, rarity. Only a handful of these high-grade, error coins exist. That's what sends collectors into a frenzy and auction prices through the roof. One recently sold for a whopping $1.3 million. I don't know about you, but if I had that kind of penny, I'd probably take a dramatic selfie with it before locking it in a vault and hiring a squirrel to guard it. But seriously, most 1970 pennies are worth a cent. Some in decent shape might sell for a few bucks. But if you've got one with the doubling and it's minty fresh, you could be sitting on a jackpot. Now, let's talk about how you can get in on the action. First off, start by checking your change. Yes, I know that sounds silly, but so did Beanie Babies once, and look what happened there. Go through your penny jars, piggy banks, even grandma's sewing tin. You'd be surprised where these old coins hide. Next, invest in a good magnifying glass. Not one of those detective-style ones unless you want to look stylish while coin hunting. A jeweler's loupe or digital microscope works wonders. You'll want to see every detail up close. If you think you found something special, don't clean it. I repeat, do not clean it. Cleaning a coin is like giving your cat a mohawk. Just don't. It destroys the value. Instead, store it properly and get it professionally appraised. I remember this one time, I thought I found a rare penny and proudly brought it to a local coin shop. I walked in with the swagger of Indiana Jones. The guy behind the counter took one look, chuckled, and said, "Son, that's a 1980 penny with ketchup on it." Oof. Humbling moment. Still, I left that shop determined to learn everything I could about valuable coins. And now here we are. So don't give up. You might not find the million-dollar penny today, but every coin tells a story, and some of those stories are worth more than you think. Alright, coin fam, let's wrap this up. The 1970 mint mark Lincoln penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. Whether it's a mint error, a rare variation, or just a lucky find, that tiny piece of copper in your pocket could be your first step to fortune. If you've got a curious streak and a jar full of change, you might just be holding your own treasure. So grab a loupe, flip over those pennies, and join the hunt. Who knows, the next millionaire could be watching this video right now. But if you found this video helpful or at least mildly entertaining, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a tip on coins worth serious cash. I've got plenty more stories, coin secrets, and collecting strategies coming your way. And hey, if you do find a 1970 penny worth over $1 million, don't forget who told you first. Just saying, thanks for watching, keep collecting, and may your pennies always be shiny and your luck never run out. Hey there coin lovers, treasure hunters and curious internet explorers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into possible paydays. Now get this, what if I told you that a regular old penny from 1979, you know the kind you probably stepped over on the sidewalk or fished out of the couch cushion, could be worth a jaw-dropping, heart-racing, eye-popping $1.5 million? Yes, you heard that right, a single brown coppery coin with no mint mark just chilling in your change jar could make you richer than your annoying neighbor who brags about his crypto investments. So before you toss another penny into the fountain for good luck, stick around because this video might be the luckiest thing that happens to you. Today we're diving into the story of the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth a fortune, how to spot one, and yes, I'll even tell you the ridiculous mistake I made with one of these little guys back in the day. Spoiler alert, I'm still kicking myself, so grab a snack, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's dig into this copper-colored Goldman. It's 1979. Bell-bottoms are gasping their last breath, disco's doing its dramatic exit, and somewhere at the US Mint a batch of pennies are being struck without a mint mark. That means no little letter under the date that tells you where the coin was made. Usually you'll see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, but when there's nothing there, that's a no mint mark penny, and for 1979 that's a big deal. Now, not all no mint mark pennies from 1979 are valuable. Most are worth just a penny, maybe two if you're lucky, and a squirrel's feeling generous. But the special ones, the real unicorns, they have something extra going on. Maybe a minting error, maybe a rare die, maybe the coin god smiled on it for one magical second. Whatever the reason, collectors go bananas for these rare versions, and one of them sold for a cool $1.5 million. Now you might be wondering what makes that one coin so valuable. If your penny looks like it got in a bar fight with a vacuum cleaner, it's probably not a millionaire. But if it's in pristine condition, what the pros call mint state or MS, then you've got potential, especially if it's graded MS 67 or higher by a pro grading service like PCGS or NGC. Off-center strikes, doubled dies, extra thickness in the letters, anything that looks off but cool, yeah, that could be worth serious money. Some 1979 no mint mark pennies have shown doubling in the date or in the word liberty, and trust me, that kind of thing makes collectors swoon harder than a teenager at a boy band concert. So a few years back, I'm helping my grandma clean out her kitchen drawer. You know, the one every family has, it, a tangled mess of rubber bands, expired coupons, twist ties, buttons, 3 pairs of scissors for some reason, and a mountain of random coins. And there it was, a shiny 1979 penny, no mint mark, perfect condition. I remember thinking, hey, that's a nice one. So what did I do? That penny is probably sipping coconut water on a beach somewhere while I'm here telling you not to do what I didn't know at the time. I hadn't fallen down the glorious rabbit hole of coin collecting yet, but if I had just looked a little closer, maybe taken it to a local dealer or popped it in for grading, who knows, I could have been driving a much nicer car right now, maybe even one with cup holders that actually hold cups. So what can you do if you think you've got a valuable 1979 no mint mark penny? Step 1, get a good magnifying glass. Your eyes are great, but they're not superhuman. Step 2, compare your coin to high-res images of known valuable ones online. Step 3, if it looks like a winner, send it in to be graded. It costs a bit, but the payoff if you've got a gem is way worth it. Step 4, don't scratch off lottery tickets with rare coins. The 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny might be small, but its potential value is anything but. Check your change jars, your car cup holders, your pants pockets, anywhere a penny might be hiding, because you never know when fortune might be 1 cent away. If you find one that looks promising, get it checked out. The worst case is it's just a penny, and hey, you're still up a cent. The best case, you're holding a $1.5 million piece of history. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, had a laugh, or just feel a sudden urge to empty every piggy bank in your house, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button like it owes you money, turn on notifications, and join the coin crew for more fun stories, helpful tips, and secret strategies to turn spare change into serious cash. Hey there treasure hunters, coin lovers, and spare change diggers, welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into potential fortune. Now let me hit you with a crazy question. Have you ever flipped over a penny and thought how this could buy me a house and a Tesla and maybe even a private island? Well, today you're going to look at your pennies a whole lot differently, because we're diving into the wild story of the 1993 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and why this little copper nugget could be worth up to $1.6 million. Yeah, you heard me right, 1.6 mil. So buckle up, grab your coin jar and maybe a magnifying glass, because you might be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. We're going to break down the history, the key features, the hilarious backstory of how I almost spent a rare penny on a vending machine burrito, and of course how you can spot one of these valuable coins in the wild. Bill Clinton just became president. Jurassic Park was blowing our minds in theaters, and somewhere in the chaos of the 90s, the US Mint quietly released a penny that would one day become the dream of collectors everywhere. Now here's the kicker, this 1993 penny has no mint mark. That means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally doesn't use a mint mark for pennies. Millions of these pennies were minted in Philly, but only a tiny handful turned out with incredibly rare errors. That make them worth a fortune today, and when I say fortune I'm talking life. Changing money. Picture this: you're at a garage sale and you pay with exact change. One of those pennies turns out to be the legendary 1993 no mint mark error, and it ends up at auction for 1.6 million. You'd be the person in every local news story ever. Random man becomes millionaire thanks to pocket change. I mean, come on, that headline writes itself. Now let's get into the juicy details. What makes this coin so valuable? First off, we've got to talk about condition. You ever hear the term MS67? That's mint state 67, which is collector lingo for it. This coin is as close to perfect as your mother-in-law's holiday pie crust. Smooth, shiny, no scratches or dings, and it still looks like it just rolled out of the mint. So for a 1993 penny to be worth anything close to seven figures, it needs to be in pristine shape. We're talking uncirculated, baby fresh, untouched by vending machines or sofa cushions. But wait, there's more. Errors are where the real magic happens, and a few of these 1993 no mint mark Lincolns have been found with insane misprints, double dies, off-center strikes, and even the mythical wrong planchet error where the penny is struck on a dime blank. Yeah, that's like ordering a pizza and getting a bonus lasagna on top. Jackpot collectors go bananas for these weird little hiccups because they're rare and, let's face it, pretty dang cool. I mean, wouldn't you want a coin that looks like it partied too hard at the mint and forgot how to be normal? Now let me tell you a little story. So I was cleaning out my desk drawer, right? This was back in college, and I found this weird looking penny just chilling next to a broken USB drive and a stale piece of gum. The penny had no mint mark and looked kinda off, like something about the font on the date just felt funky. So naturally, being the financially irresponsible 19-year-old I was, I used it to buy a burrito from the vending machine outside the library. I still think about that burrito sometimes, not because it was good, it definitely wasn't, but because I might have just eaten a $1.6 million lunch. Moral of the story: always double check your change, my friends. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, this is cool, but how do I actually find one of these magic pennies? Great question. Let me hit you with some tips. Tip 2: examine with a magnifier. Look for crisp details, weird doubling or off-center prints. Tip 3: hold on to coins in excellent condition. If it's shiny, don't spend it. Protect it like it's your weird but lovable cat that only drinks filtered water. Tip 4: compare it with verified pictures online. There are tons of resources where you can see what real errors look like. Don't go off guesswork or gut feeling. You're not on a cooking show. This is Numismatics, baby. And tip 5: if you think you've got something special, get it graded. Seriously, don't toss it in a drawer. Take it to a coin shop or mail it to a grading service. These people know their stuff and could help you turn your penny into a pile of cash. And one last thing, there's a massive community of coin collectors online: Facebook groups, Reddit threads, YouTube channels just like this one filled with people who will geek out with you over a rare coin. So join the fun, ask questions, and who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to uncover a $1 million mystery in their change jar. So to wrap this up, folks, the 1993 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny might just be the ticket to your next big payday. If you know what to look for. It's small, it's humble, but it's mighty, just like my grandma's meatballs. And trust me, that's saying something. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just found this video because YouTube knows you've been Googling ways to get rich without buying crypto, this is your sign to start checking your pennies seriously. You never know, that tiny copper coin in your cup holder could be your ticket to early retirement, or at least a sweet vacation to somewhere without mosquitoes. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth big bucks and strategies to build your collection, hit that subscribe button, smack the like, and leave a comment telling us what treasures you found or hope to find. And don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss an update, because hey, your next million might just be hiding in your pocket. Hey there, coin hunters, treasure seekers, and people who just checked their couch cushions for loose change. Welcome back to the channel where we turn pocket change into possible paydays. Alright, so picture this. You're at the grocery store. You buy a stick of gum, pay cash, yeah, remember cash? And the cashier hands you a few coins and change. You barely look at them before shoving them into your pocket. But what if one of those coins is worth $1.7 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today we're talking about a tiny little piece of copper that's turning heads and dropping jaws. The 1964 Lincoln penny. A coin you've probably handled a dozen times without even realizing it. But this isn't your average penny, my friends. This one is the holy grail of piggy banks. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll be digging through every jar of coins you own. Now before we dive in, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on turning your change into cha-chingda. Let's start with the basics. In 1964, the Denver Mint struck a lot of Lincoln pennies. We're talking over 3.7 billion of them. That's billion with a B. So you might be thinking, wait, how can something so common be so valuable? That's a great question, and the answer is, drumroll, rarity plus condition plus errors equals value. Now, let's talk about that D mint mark. It stands for Denver, not dollars, though in this case, it may as well stand for dying. That's expensive. Most 1964 D pennies are only worth face value, maybe a little more if they're in good shape. But the ultra-rare versions, the ones in mint condition with unique errors or super high grades? Those are the ones collectors fight over like it's Black Friday at a coin convention. Here's where things get juicy. The 1964 D penny that sold for $1.7 million wasn't just shiny. It was basically flawless. It was graded as an MS-67 by a top grading company. That's Mint State 67 for those new to the game, and that's like finding a needle in a haystack that's wearing a tuxedo. A couple years ago, I was cleaning out my late uncle's garage. The guy never threw anything away. I'm talking stacks of newspapers, rusty tools, a lava lamp from the 70s that may or may not have been sentient. Anyway, I find this old metal tin. I open it up, bam. It's full of coins. Mostly pennies. Now, most people would just dump that at the bank and call it a day. But not me. I'm the type of guy who Googles stuff before giving it away. So I start sorting through them. I find a 1964 D penny that looks kinda fresh. My heart skips a beat. Is this the one? Am I about to be a millionaire? It wasn't. It was worth about 10 cents. But hey, that's 10 times face value, baby. Still, that moment taught me something. It's not just about luck. It's about knowing what to look for. Get yourself a magnifying glass or those fancy loop things that make you look like a jewel thief. Check the details. If Lincoln's hair looks like it's had a fresh blowout and the coin's surface shines like it's never seen daylight, you're off to a good start. Here's where it gets fun. Some 1964 D pennies have doubling, that means the letters or numbers look kind of blurry or doubled up. This is called a doubled die and collectors go nuts for them. Also look for off-center strikes, die cracks, or other weird stuff that makes your penny look like it came from another dimension. Now don't just eyeball it and call it a day. If your penny looks pristine, send it in to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it'll cost a few bucks, but if your coin is worth millions, that's a small price to pay. Oh, and here's a bonus tip: keep your coins away from air, moisture, and sticky fingers. Store them in coin flips or capsules. Treat them like tiny copper royalty. And now, I know what you're thinking. Alright, I don't have a 1964 D penny that looks like it came straight from heaven. Am I out of luck? Not at all. Even regular 1964 D pennies in decent condition can be worth a few bucks, especially to beginner collectors. And some with unique toning or errors can fetch $50, $100, even more. Plus, who doesn't love the thrill of the hunt? Digging through your change jar might not buy you a yacht, but it sure beats doom scrolling social media for 3 hours a night. One little coin, the 1964 D Lincoln penny, might just be worth $1.7 million if it's got the right stuff. That's enough to buy a mansion, a fleet of Teslas, or roughly 1.5 eggs in California. It's out there somewhere. Maybe in your grandpa's coin jar. Maybe in your pocket right now. So don't sleep on your spare change, folks. Check those pennies. Look for that D mint mark. Look for those shiny beauties with crisp lines and maybe a quirky little error. And when in doubt, get it graded. If you enjoyed this video and want more coin collecting tips, tricks, and tall tales, smash that like button like it owes you money. And subscribe for more content on coins worth big bucks, smart collecting strategies, and maybe a few more stories about me almost becoming a millionaire and ending up with 10 cents. Hey there, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Ever found a penny on the street and thought, hey, maybe this little copper disc is worth a fortune? Well, what if I told you there's a 2016 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny out there that's currently worth a whopping $1.8 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.8 million. I mean, I'm still trying to find enough pennies in my couch cushions to buy a coffee, and here's this little coin sitting quietly, possibly making someone a millionaire. Stick around because today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of this 2016 D Lincoln penny, why it's so insanely valuable, how you can spot one, and maybe even how I almost threw away a coin that could have made me rich. True story. Spoiler alert. So grab your magnifying glasses, and let's get into this penny madness, alright? So first off, let's talk basics. The 2016 D Mint Mark penny is part of the Abraham Lincoln Cents series. Yeah, the little guy with Lincoln's profile on the front that you've probably been ignoring since elementary school. But not all pennies are created equal. Some are worth pennies, and some are worth, well, millions. Crazy, right? Now, this 2016 D penny isn't just any penny. It's rare because of a super unusual minting error. What kind of error? Glad you asked. This one's what we call a double die mint mark. Imagine if the mint stamping machine sneezed or hiccuped and stamped the D twice. That double stamp makes the coin a collector's holy grail because it's so rare and visually distinct. You pick up a penny, look closely, and see two tiny overlapping Ds where there should be just one. That's your jackpot. The market currently values these babies at about $1.8 million. Yeah, if you found one of these walking down the street, you might want to sit down, but why exactly is it worth that much? Well, rarity and demand, my friend. Collectors love unique mint errors because they're like nature's limited edition prints. Add in the fact that the Lincoln penny is iconic and super recognizable, and boom, you have a coin that's practically screaming, "Buy me, I'm valuable." Okay, now for a funny little story before we go any further. So, a couple years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer where I keep random coins and stuff, mostly junk, I thought. I dumped the coins into a little pile, then started sorting. Suddenly, my buddy came over, glanced at the pile, and was like, "Dude, that penny looks weird. Check it out." It was a 2016 D penny with a slight mint mark doubling. At first, I was like, nah, no way this thing is worth anything. But after some quick Googling and expert opinions, guess what? That coin was worth thousands. Thousands. I'm still kicking myself for almost tossing it into the donation box. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies twice, or better yet, thrice. Now back to the 2016 D Lincoln penny. If you want to know how to spot one yourself, here's the deal. The mint mark is located just below the date on the front of the penny. Use a good magnifying glass or your phone's zoom camera feature. Look closely for any signs of doubling, like two overlapping Ds or a shadow effect. If you spot one, congratulations, you might just have a tiny gold mine in your hands, and hey, even if your coin isn't worth $1 million, pennies with unique mint errors or historical significance often sell for hundreds or thousands. So always keep an eye out and never underestimate those little cents. By the way, did you know Abraham Lincoln was the first president to appear on a US coin? That alone makes any Lincoln penny cooler than your average change. So combine that historical factor with a rare mint error, and you have the recipe for a coin collector's dream. Let's talk a little about the market right now. Coin collecting has exploded over the past decade. Thanks to YouTube channels like this one, wink, wink, more people are learning how to spot rare coins and mint errors. That means demand is high, and prices keep climbing. The 2016 D penny's current market value of $1.8 million reflects that growing collector frenzy. Just imagine what that value might be in a few years. Now, if you're wondering how to safely buy or sell such a coin, here's a quick tip. Always go through trusted coin dealers or auction houses. Get your coin professionally graded and authenticated by companies like PCGS or NGC. That way, you know your $1 million penny isn't actually a well-done fake. Before we wrap this section up, here's something I want you to think about. How many pennies have you tossed or ignored over the years? Maybe there's a treasure trove hiding in your couch cushions, your old jars, or that random coin stash from your childhood. If I learned anything from my near-miss story, it's this: never underestimate the value of what seems ordinary. Alright, we've covered a lot today. The 2016 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just pocket change, it's potentially a life-changing collectible worth $1.8 million. It's rare, it's historic, and it's got that quirky minting error that makes collectors drool. Whether you're a casual coin collector or just someone who's curious, remember, treasures are often hiding in plain sight, sometimes right under your nose or in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into penny lore and want more tips on rare coins, mint errors, and how to spot money in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button right now. I promise to keep bringing you fun, easy to understand, and sometimes hilarious coin stories and strategies to help you grow your collection and maybe even your bank account. So don't be that guy who almost threw away $1 million coin. Join the community, stay curious, and let's hunt for those coin treasures together. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your pockets jingling. If you want, I can also help you break this down into time segments or provide bullet points for easy reading while recording. Would you like that? Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the wild world of coins that might just make you richer than your wildest dreams, or at least give you a good excuse to hoard pennies. Today, we're zeroing in on a coin you might have overlooked, the humble 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard that right, a penny from 2003 that's worth over $1 million. No joke. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll never look at your spare change the same way again. But first, a quick question. Have you ever found something lying around that made you stop and say, wait, is this worth anything? Because I sure did, and spoiler alert, it was a coin, a penny to be exact, and it changed the way I look at my couch cushions forever. More on that story later, I promise. Alright, let's jump into the fascinating story of the 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, what makes it so special, why collectors are willing to pay a fortune for it, and how you might just have a treasure hiding in your pocket. Okay, so first off, why would a penny from 2003 be worth $1.1 million? I mean, pennies are usually just pennies, right? Most people don't even bother picking them up off the street. But this coin is the exception that proves the rule. The 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is actually a super rare error coin. Normally, pennies made in 2003 would have a mint mark, a little letter on the coin showing where it was made. For example, a D4 Denver or an S4 San Francisco. But this one? It has no mint mark at all, which shouldn't have happened for that year. It's like finding a Starbucks coffee cup with no logo, totally unexpected, because coins with mistakes or oddities are like the rock stars of the coin world. Collectors go crazy for them because they're rare and unique. The fewer there are, the higher the price. And with only a handful of these 2003 pennies floating around without a mint mark, it's become a prized find. The US Mint didn't officially produce pennies without mint marks in 2003, so these coins slip through the cracks, literally a minting error. And as any coin collector will tell you, minting errors are the stuff legends are made of. Now, before you start rummaging through your couch cushions for your own no mint mark penny, let me tell you about the condition. The $1 million value is based on the coin being in near perfect condition, shiny, no scratches, and just as crisp as the day it came out of the mint. If your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine cycle or stepped on by your dog, sorry, it's probably not worth $1 million. But hey, you never know until you check. A friend of mine once found what he thought was just a regular penny in his old coin collection. He jokingly handed it to me, saying, "Bet you this is worth a fortune." I laughed, looked at it, and said, "Dude, it's just a 2003 penny." But after a quick Google search, we discovered it was actually one of those rare no mint mark error pennies, and it was worth thousands. Not quite $1 million, but hey, it still paid for a nice dinner that night. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pennies, especially if they don't have a little letter on them. Okay, so now you're probably wondering, where can you even find one of these? Well, that's the tricky part. Since they're super rare, most people find them by accident, like in old collections, jars of coins, or sometimes in circulation if you're really lucky. If you're serious about hunting for one, coin shows, auctions, and dealers who specialize in error coins are your best bet. Now, how do you know if your penny is authentic? Because, let's be real, there are plenty of fakes and replicas out there trying to sneak into the market. The best way is to have the coin professionally graded and authenticated by experts like PCGS or NGC. These folks know their stuff and can give your coin an official grade that affects its value big time. And if you're sitting there thinking, how do I even start collecting coins? No worries. It's actually a super fun hobby. You get to learn history, spot cool errors, and who knows, maybe one day you'll find the next $1 million penny. Plus, it's way better than collecting those random toys you regretted buying as a kid. The 2003 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might look like a tiny, ordinary coin, but it's actually a rare gem that can be worth over $1 million if you find one in pristine condition. It's a reminder that sometimes, the little things can pack a big punch, whether that's in your pocket or in life. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin craziness and want more tips on spotting coins worth serious money, strategies to build your own collection, or just some fun stories about crazy coin finds, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on what's coming next. And hey, if you've got a crazy coin story or find, drop it in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Alright, thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep checking those pennies, you might just be holding $1 million secret. Until next time, stay curious and keep hunting those coins. Would you like me to help you break this down into timestamps or add some specific jokes or coin facts? Hey coin lovers and curious collectors! Imagine finding a penny lying around your couch cushions that's worth over $1 million. I'm serious, $1 million. Sounds like a plot twist in a treasure hunt movie, right? Well, today we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Yes, the little copper coin that's making some folks seriously rich. If you've ever thought pennies were just the annoying coins you stash in a jar or avoid picking up, think again. This humble coin might just be your next golden ticket. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know why this tiny penny is worth $1.2 million and how you can spot a potential treasure in your own pocket. Plus, I'll share a funny personal story that might just save you from accidentally throwing away a fortune. And hey, if you love cool coin facts and want to learn how to spot more hidden gems like this, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. We're all about turning pocket change into payday. First, some quick background on the 1979 Lincoln penny. Most of these pennies were minted in Philadelphia, and usually, they have the famous P mint mark, or sometimes an S4 San Francisco or D4 Denver. But the no mint mark version? That's the rare one, and that's where the magic happens. So, what makes the 1979 no mint mark penny so valuable? It's all about rarity and error. In 1979, the Philadelphia Mint accidentally struck some pennies without the P mint mark. Since this was the first year the P was added to pennies, the no-mint mark pennies slipped through the cracks and into circulation, but only a handful made it out. Collectors call this kind of mistake a mint error, and those errors can skyrocket a coin's value. We're talking about a coin that's not supposed to exist in large numbers, making it super rare. When collectors find one in excellent condition, it's like finding a diamond in a haystack. And that's why some of these pennies have sold for $1.2 million. Yeah, no typo, that's with an M. Now, I know what you're thinking, how do you spot one? Well, it's pretty simple. Check the front of the penny, right above the date, and look for the P. If it's missing, congratulations, you might be holding $1 million coin. But beware, counterfeiters love this coin, so getting it authenticated by a pro is crucial before you start dreaming about your new yacht. Speaking of dreams, let me share a quick personal story. A few years back, my friend Joe was cleaning out his old piggy bank. Like many of us, he was just getting rid of random coins when he casually tossed a penny onto the counter. I looked at it and immediately said, "Wait, is that a no-mint mark 1979? Joe laughed and said, "Nah, it's just a penny." Well, guess what? It was the real deal, and after getting it verified, Joe sold it for enough cash to buy a brand new car. He called me the next day, still shocked, and said, "Man, I almost threw it away with the trash." That's when I realized how many people might be sitting on gold without even knowing it. So if you find a penny that looks a little off or different, don't toss it, show it to someone who knows coins, or better yet, get it graded professionally. You never know, you might have a little treasure in your pocket. Now, the 1979 no-mint mark penny isn't just valuable because of its rarity, it's also a part of history. Abraham Lincoln's image has been on the penny since 1909. And these coins have witnessed more than a century of American life, from the Great Depression to the digital age. Holding a Lincoln penny, especially a rare one, is like holding a piece of history in your hand. If you want to collect these coins, it's important to learn about coin grading, basically, the condition of the coin. The better the condition, the higher the value. Coins with no scratches, wear, or discoloration can command huge prices, while worn coins are more common and less valuable. So, keep your pennies safe. Clean them carefully, not with harsh chemicals, trust me, I learned this the hard way, and keep an eye out for that missing mint mark. The 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a tiny copper coin that could be worth $1.2 million. Next time you're digging through your change, remember Joe's story and take a closer look. Who knows, maybe you'll be the lucky one to find the next $1 million penny. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more coin collecting tips, crazy coin stories, and money-making strategies you won't want to miss. We're all about helping you turn your pocket change into serious cash. Got questions or want me to talk about other rare coins? Drop a comment below. I love hearing your stories and helping out fellow coin hunters. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Remember, every penny counts, especially the rare ones. If you want, I can also help you break it down into shorter segments or add some visual cues for your video. Let me know. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and penny pinchers. Welcome back to the channel where we turn your loose change into a treasure chest. Today, we're diving deep into a coin you probably see every day but might never guess is worth over $1 million. Yup, you heard me right, over $1 million for a penny. And it's not some rare dinosaur coin, it's the humble 1987 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now before you start digging through your couch cushions, let me tell you this story because, spoiler alert, I almost threw one away myself. But more on that later. Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly why this tiny copper disc can make you richer than you ever dreamed, and how to spot one when you see it. So grab your magnifying glass, your lucky socks, and maybe a snack, because we're about to turn pennies into gold. It looks like every other penny you've seen. Lincoln on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back, the usual copper color. But here's the kicker, this particular coin has no mint mark. For the uninitiated, a mint mark is a tiny letter on a coin that shows where it was made, like a secret signature. In 1987, the US Mint was churning out billions of pennies, mostly from Philadelphia and Denver. The Denver coins have a D mint mark. Philly coins usually have none because Philadelphia pennies traditionally didn't have a mint mark until 2017. So when we say 1987 no mint mark penny, we're basically talking about a Philadelphia penny. So why is this coin suddenly worth a whopping $1.3 million? The 1987 no mint mark penny in question isn't just any penny. It's a rare error coin, meaning there's something unique about it that makes collectors drool. In this case, the penny was struck on a silver planchet, a blank coin made out of a silver-colored metal instead of the usual copper-plated zinc. This mix-up is like ordering a cheeseburger and getting a filet mignon instead, because silver planchets were meant for other coin types and not pennies. The 1987 no mint mark penny struck on this silver planchet is insanely rare. Imagine finding a single silver penny in a jar of copper ones. It stands out like a flamingo at a penguin party. The obvious clue is the color. These error pennies have a shiny, silver look instead of the usual reddish brown. If you spot one, hold on to it like it's your last slice of pizza. Seriously, you might wonder how something like this happens. Well, minting errors are usually due to human or machine slip-ups. At the mint, planchets from different coin batches sometimes get mixed up. One day, someone accidentally fed a batch of silver planchets into the penny press. Most of the silver pennies were caught and removed, but a few escaped into circulation, making them extremely valuable today. Alright, now for a little story from my own coin collecting misadventure. A few years back, I found what I thought was a dull, worn penny in my change. I tossed it in my coin jar like always. Weeks later, while sorting through coins to make a YouTube video, I noticed this one penny was way shinier, almost silverish. Curious, I looked it up and realized it could be something special. After some research, turns out it was a rare mint error, not quite the 1987 silver penny, but still a keeper. Always double check your coins before you toss them in the jar or use them for parking meters. That little coin might just pay for your next vacation or at least your weekend pizza binge. The current market value at auction or through private sales can reach up to $1.3 million. Now, this is not your everyday yard sale find. These coins are extremely scarce, and they often come from well-known collectors or specialized auctions. But if you have one or get lucky enough to find one, you could be sitting on a small fortune. You're probably thinking, how on earth do I authenticate such a coin? Good question. Authenticating rare coins usually involves professional grading services. They examine the coin's metal composition, weight, design details, and condition. Don't trust just any shady guy in a dark alley telling you found $1 million coin. Get it graded by an expert like PCGS or NGC. They'll give it a grade, authenticate the error, and put it in a tamper-proof holder. This certification is what gives the coin its market value and protects you when you sell it. So, what should you do if you think you have a 1987 no mint mark penny like this? Don't spend it at Starbucks, call a professional, get it graded, and start dreaming about what to do with your unexpected windfall. Alright, treasure hunters, that's a wrap on the 1987 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a tiny coin with $1 million story. Remember, the magic is in the mistake, a silver planchet error that turned a simple penny into a collector's holy grail worth around $1.3 million today. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin secrets and want more tips, stories, and strategies on spotting coins that can make you serious cash, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't be the person who misses out on millions because they didn't know what to look for, and hey, share your own coin finds or stories in the comments. Ever found a rare penny or a crazy mint error? Let me know, I love hearing about those wild moments. So, next time you're digging through your change, don't just think about cents, think about dollars, or better yet, millions. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next video where we'll uncover even more coin secrets. Stay curious, stay lucky, and keep those coins shining. If you want, I can help you make this even longer or add sections about coin care, auction tips, or how to start your own collection. Just let me know. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into something that sounds like a joke but is totally real: a penny. Not just any penny, though. We're talking about the 2006 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, which, believe it or not, is currently worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yeah, you heard that right, a penny worth more than most people's cars. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know why this little copper disc is causing such a stir, and you might just want to check your pockets. Who knows? That spare change in your couch could be your ticket to a millionaire's club. Okay, so before you start diving into your coin jars, let's get some basics out of the way. The 2006 penny is part of the Lincoln Cents series. For those who don't know, Lincoln pennies have been around since 1909. They're the coins we all grew up with, the ones we mindlessly throw into vending machines, parking meters, and of course, the notorious penny jar that never gets emptied. It's not just the year or the mint mark. D stands for Denver Mint. By the way, it's actually a rare error coin. Mint errors are like the coin's version of "oops, we messed up." Sometimes that mistake makes the coin valuable. Sometimes it just means you get a funny story about finding a weird coin. In this case, the 2006 penny has a unique die crack, a kind of tiny but very rare flaw that makes it super collectible. The die crack isn't just any crack. It's like a lightning bolt or a spider web, a clear line running through the coin that collectors absolutely drool over. Why? Because the rarer the mistake, the higher the value. Simple coin economics: only a handful of these error pennies exist. It's kind of like winning the lottery, but instead of buying a ticket, you just need to keep your eyes peeled and your coin collection updated. Seriously, it's not like every 2006 penny you find is worth $1.4 million. Only the ones with this special error. Here's a little story to lighten things up. I actually found a weird penny once, not a 2006 but close. I was at a flea market, digging through a box of loose change because hey, you never know. I pulled out a penny that looked a bit off. Turns out it was a rare mint error from the 80s. I showed it to a friend, who thought I was crazy bragging about a penny. Fast forward, I sold it for a few $100. Not millions, but enough to buy a fancy dinner and brag for weeks. Moral of the story: always check your pennies closely, you might just get lucky. Back to the 2006 penny. Because of its rarity and the mint error, collectors and investors are scrambling to find them. That's what pushes the price to $1.4 million in the current market. Yes, the market for rare coins can be wild. Sometimes people pay insane prices for what seems like a tiny mistake on a coin. If you're wondering how to tell if your 2006 penny is one of these rare finds, here's a quick tip: look for unusual cracks, especially lines that look like they're running from the edge into the center. Also, check for any doubling of letters or weird raised bumps that aren't normally there. There are tons of videos and pictures online to help you spot these, so don't worry if you're not an expert yet. Now, I know what you're thinking: how does a penny that was minted just a couple decades ago get so valuable? Usually, older coins get pricey because they're rare, but this is a modern penny. The key is the error and its scarcity. It's like buying a limited edition sneaker but in coin form. And quick fun fact: Abraham Lincoln himself would probably never imagine one of his pennies selling for over $1 million. He was more about unity and honesty than mint errors turning into million-dollar collectibles. Next time you're digging through your couch cushions or checking your change, don't just toss those pennies aside. One of them could be a 2006 mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a small fortune. And even if it's not, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun, right? If you enjoyed this little coin adventure and want more tips on how to spot valuable coins, rare mint errors, and strategies for turning pocket change into cash, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future videos where we dig deep into the world of coin collecting and money-making strategies. Plus, I promise to keep it fun, casual, and maybe even a bit hilarious. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go check your pockets, you never know what treasure you might find. Hey, what's up? coin collectors and curious minds. Today, we're diving into something super cool, a penny. Yeah, you heard me right, a penny. But not just any penny. I'm talking about the elusive 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's currently worth a whopping $1.5 million. You might be thinking, how in the world can a little copper coin from 1982 be worth that much? I mean, most pennies I find in my couch cushions aren't even worth $1. Well, buckle up, because this story is about to get wild, interesting, and maybe a little funny. Also, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this penny is so special, and maybe, just maybe, you'll look at that jar of pennies on your kitchen counter in a totally different way. Alright, so first, let's set the scene. The year is 1982. Michael Jackson just moonwalked his way into pop stardom, E.T. was hanging out on TV, and little did anyone know, the US Mint was cooking up a penny that would one day become a legend. And now, here's the thing with the 1982 penny. That year was special because it was a transitional year for pennies. You see, for decades, pennies were mostly made out of copper, but copper prices were soaring, so the mint decided to switch things up and start using more zinc in pennies. So in 1982, some pennies were still made mostly of copper, and some were made mostly of zinc. If you look closely, the pennies made of copper are actually more valuable, but the no-mint Mark 1982 penny? That's a whole other level of rare. Here's the twist, the no-mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. Usually, coins from Philadelphia don't carry a mint mark, but in 1982, most pennies did have marks because of the new production techniques. The rare 1982 no-mint mark penny has a very specific composition and was minted in limited quantities, making it a collector's dream. Why is it worth $1.5 million? Well, rarity and condition are king in the coin world. The fewer of these coins floating around, and the better shape they're in, the more collectors are willing to pay. That 1982 penny ticks all those boxes. I actually know someone who stumbled onto one of these by accident. No joke. They were just casually going through their old coin collection, thinking about cashing it in for a few bucks, when suddenly they noticed this weird 1982 penny that looked slightly different. After a quick Google search and some heart-pounding moments, they realized they were holding a gold mine. Literally, a penny that could buy a house in some places. And here's a little personal story. I once found an old penny in my grandpa's junk drawer, nothing fancy, just a 1982 penny. I tossed it into my collection and didn't think much of it until a friend casually mentioned, "Hey, did you check if it has a mint mark?" Long story short, I spent an entire weekend hunting for that little detail, getting way too excited, and then realizing mine had a mint mark, so it wasn't the rare one. Still, it made me realize how something so tiny can have such a huge story behind it. So, if you happen to find a 1982 penny without a mint mark, especially in mint condition, hold on to it tight. This coin is a jackpot. Like the lottery, but way cooler because it's history and money in your hand. The fascinating, rare, and incredibly valuable 1982 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny worth a staggering $1.5 million. Who knew that something as small and everyday as a penny could turn into a fortune, right? If you enjoyed this video and want to keep unlocking more secrets about coins that could make you rich or at least give you some cool stories to tell, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, fun facts, and money-making strategies coming your way. And hey, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your pennies a little more carefully now. You never know, your next treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep collecting, keep smiling, and maybe, just maybe, keep an eye on that jar of pennies. Hey, coin lovers and treasure hunters! Have you ever held what looked like just an ordinary penny in your hand, only to find out it's worth more than your car? Well, buckle up because today we're diving into the wild world of the 2019 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yes, that tiny copper coin that's quietly sitting in someone's pocket or coin jar right now and could be worth a whopping $1.6 million. I mean, who knew pennies could be such money magnets? Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly why this penny is so special, how you might spot one yourself, and I'll even share a hilarious story about how I almost threw away a fortune. Spoiler alert, I didn't. Plus, I'll give you some tips on how to start spotting coins worth serious cash. So, if you love coins or just want to learn how to turn pocket change into big bucks, smash that subscribe button and let's get rolling. What the heck is a 2019 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny and why is it suddenly worth more than a small island? Usually, pennies come from different mints like Denver, Philadelphia, or San Francisco, and those mints put their little letters on the coin, a D, P, or S. That helps collectors know where the coin was made. But the 2019 no mint mark penny is a rare beast. It's basically a penny made without the usual mint mark, which makes it a freak in the coin world, and collectors go nuts over freaks, because when you find one, you're basically holding a 1 in a million piece of American history. Mint errors like these happen when something goes sideways in the coin-making factory, maybe a missing stamp or a misprint, and voila! You have a coin that's no longer just a penny, but $1 million treasure. Now, I know what you're thinking. How does a penny made in 2019 suddenly get that kind of value? I mean, it's basically brand new. The key here is rarity and collector demand. Coin collectors love modern errors because they're fresh and unique. The 2019 no mint mark penny? It's so rare that only a handful are confirmed to exist, and that makes them incredibly valuable. This penny is like that one friend who shows up to the party wearing the craziest costume and everyone wants to take a selfie with them. It's unique, it's eye-catching, and it's a hot commodity, but wait, there's more. How do you spot one of these bad boys if you're digging through your change jar or the couch cushions? The no mint mark penny looks just like a regular Lincoln penny, except there's no letter under the date. Normally you'd see a D or a P, but this one? Nada. Just the year 2019 staring back at you. So next time you get change, give those pennies a quick once-over. You might just get lucky. Okay, now for that personal story I promised. So, a while back, I was cleaning out an old desk drawer and found a bunch of random pennies from different years. I tossed most of them into a jar but set aside a few that looked different. One of those was a 2019 penny without any mint mark. I didn't think much of it at first. I mean, how valuable could a modern penny be, right? Well, fast forward a few months, I mentioned it to a coin collecting buddy of mine, and he practically did a spit take. Turns out, that penny was worth over $1 million. I almost threw it out with the trash. Imagine that, $1 million hiding in a dusty old drawer. Moral of the story, never underestimate the power of your pocket change. And now, if you want to get serious about finding coins worth real money, here are some quick pro tips. First, always check for mint marks and errors, missing letters, doubled stamps, weird coloring. These little things can mean big bucks. Second, keep your coins in good condition. Scratches and dirt can tank their value, so treat your finds like little treasures. Third, join coin forums and groups online. The community is super helpful, and you'll learn to spot trends and new valuable coins faster than going it alone. And lastly, if you think you have a valuable coin, don't just Google it and trust random websites. Get it professionally appraised or graded. Sometimes coins can look valuable but are replicas or damaged versions. The 2019 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, tiny, unassuming, but worth a cool $1.6 million. Next time you're about to drop a penny in a vending machine or throw one into your kid's piggy bank, pause and take a closer look. Who knows? You might be sitting on the next $1 million coin. Out. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt into the world of coins, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell because I've got tons more tips and stories coming your way about coins worth serious cash and how you can find them. Got a coin story of your own or want me to check out a weird coin you found? Drop it in the comments. I love hearing from you. Hey everyone! So, picture this, you're digging through an old jar of pennies, maybe the one your grandma gave you, or the dusty shoebox in your closet that's been hiding your childhood memories. And then, bam! You find a penny that isn't just a penny. Nope. It's a 1968 D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and guess what? It could be worth a whopping $1.7 million. Yeah, I know, sounds like something out of a treasure movie, right? But stick around, because today, we're diving deep into the shiny little coin that's causing some serious excitement in the coin collecting world. And now, before you start Googling where to find 1968 pennies, let me walk you through what makes this penny so special, why collectors are losing their minds over it, and maybe share a little story about how I almost threw away a fortune once. Spoiler alert, it's a wild ride. So, grab your favorite snack, and let's get rolling. So, the penny itself is one of the classic Lincoln cents minted in Denver in 1968. Nothing super rare about that, right? Millions were minted that year. But here's where it gets juicy. A rare variation or error on some of these coins makes them incredibly valuable. Think of it like finding a misprinted dollar bill with George Washington wearing sunglasses. It's that kind of rare. In particular, some 1968D pennies have specific minting errors or features that collectors obsess over. And if you have one that's got the right combination of those rare features, bam, you're looking at a piece that can fetch up to $1.7 million on the market. Yeah, a penny turning into millions. It's like the ultimate comeback story. Now, how does something so small and everyday become so valuable? It all boils down to rarity, condition, and demand. In the coin world, errors or unusual variations like doubled dies, off-center strikes, or unique mint marks can send the price soaring. Plus, if the coin's condition is super minty fresh, like it just left the mint yesterday, collectors will fight tooth and nail to get their hands on it. It was minted during a time when the US was transitioning and experimenting a lot with coin production techniques. That means more chances for cool mistakes or rare variations to slip through. It's a goldmine for collectors who know what to look for. Speaking of looking for coins, let me share a quick story. A few years ago, my buddy Dave inherited a big box of old coins from his grandfather. He was all casual about it, just tossing pennies around, looking for a lucky one to buy coffee. Then, out of nowhere, he pulls out this shiny penny that looked totally normal but had a weird doubling effect on the date and the mint mark. Long story short, he took it to a coin expert, and guess what? It turned out to be a super rare error penny worth tens of thousands of dollars. Dave went from buying coffee to seriously considering a new car. Moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a little penny, especially if it's a 1968D Lincoln. But hey, if you're thinking you're about to strike it rich, remember, finding one of these is like winning the lottery, super rare. And if you do find one, getting it authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC is a must. Otherwise, you might end up selling your $1 million penny for pocket change at a flea market. Trust me, that would be tragic. Now, beyond the value, the 1968D Lincoln penny is just a cool piece of history. Abraham Lincoln's been on the penny since 1909, and this little coin carries a piece of that legacy. It's like holding a tiny time capsule from the late 60s, a period of big cultural shifts, moon landings, and classic rock tunes blasting from car radios. So whether you're a collector or just a history buff, there's something neat about owning or spotting one of these. And speaking of spotting, here's a quick tip: when checking your pennies, use a magnifying glass or a smartphone camera zoom to catch those tiny details. Look for doubling on the date or mint mark, uneven edges, or unusual coloring. Sometimes the rarest coins hide in plain sight. The 1968D mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny isn't just some old coin you found on the sidewalk. It's a potential treasure worth around $1.7 million if it has those rare features and is in great condition. It's a perfect blend of history, mystery, and a little bit of luck. If you ever find yourself staring at a jar full of pennies and wondering if one could change your life, just remember my buddy Dave's story. Stay curious, pay attention to the details, and never toss out a coin without at least a quick look. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more tips on coins worth serious money, or strategies to spot hidden gems in your change, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more stories, laughs, and secrets coming your way. And hey, if you have any crazy coin finds or questions, drop them in the comments. I love hearing your stories. Thanks for hanging out today. Keep hunting those pennies and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own $1 million treasure. Until next time, keep it shiny and keep it fun.